Good morning, students. Let's continue with the second part of this chapter. In the previous video, we we did the packing efficiency. So this was the last screen that we saw in that last video. So this is the second part of the chapter solid state and also the last part of the theory. So as I said, when we meet next week, okay, that time I'll be taking you through some of the numericals, some important questions is what I'll discuss, and then I'll also start with the next chapter. So meanwhile, I want you all to go through these videos and also write down the question and answers that I'll be sending it to you this week. All right. So now that we have looked at the packing efficiency, my dear students, let's go ahead and look at the other points to do in the chapter solid state. Now, when I said that there are voids created by the spheres, remember we did all these atoms, they create these voids, octahedral voids and tetrahedral voids, which weaken, okay, which reduces the efficiency of the solid. And that's when we looked at packing efficiency in all three different cells, that is simple cubic cell, and then body-centered cubic cell, then face-centered cubic cell. So all these three cubic cells have got different efficiencies, right? One has got 52.4%, one has got, the other one has got 68%, and the third one has got 74%. Okay, now having said that, uh, all those things are something that is part and parcel of uh, the formation of a unit cell. Remember, atoms, they are always spherical in shape. I can't change the shape of it just for my convenience so that there is no void at all. Voids will be formed. Okay, that's why their efficiency is fixed. For SCC, it can never become 70%. If it has to be 52.4%, it will remain 52.4%. Okay, same thing with BCC 68% and FCC 74%. But over and above that, solids also face defects in them. Okay, they have certain defects. Now what are these defects in crystal structure? So they are irregularities in the arrangement of constituent particles of a solid crystal. Okay, they are called as defects or imperfections. Now any compound, any substance, my dear students, very rarely you'll find it to be a perfect solid or a perfect liquid or a perfect gas. There will always be an external impurity that will cause a defect in it. Okay, so there will always be imperfections in it. So do we need to study about those imperfections, defects? Definitely yes. No, because that will help us to study a particular solid in a correct way. Okay, so that we just leave aside those defects. We need to study defects only to identify that yes, a defect like this exists because of so and so reason. So that reason is important for us to identify, to know why this solid is not behaving in such a manner when the studies show that it has to behave in a particular manner. If at all it is not behaving in that manner, there is a possibility of defect in it. So if there is defect in it, what type of defect it is, why that defect is caused is something that we need to study. So what are the three types of defects that we're going to look at? Point defects, line defects, and plane defects. These words are self-explanatory, my dear students. How? When we looked at the crystal lattice, remember I told you it looks like a mesh. Okay, so mesh with the intersecting lines, there are points which we call it as lattice points, and the entire structure is called as a crystal structure or a lattice. No, so there are points in it. So if there is some problem with the points, okay, it's called as point defect. It's called as point defect. If the entire line is incorrect, so I would like to just show it to you using one. Maybe I'll just insert a table for you to understand. Okay, so imagine this is the crystal structure. Okay, imagine this is the crystal structure. Now these are the points wherever my cursor is, my dear students. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all these intersecting points are my lattice points. Okay, these points here. Okay, now what are lines? These are the lines. So line defect is caused by defect in lines. Okay, this entire line. So this entire line that you see where my cursor is moving, this entire line, this entire line, this entire line, it will cause line defect. And plane defect is if there is some problem with the entire plane, okay, which is made by lines and points. But in this chapter, we'll be looking at only point defects. Okay, so let's take a look at the point defects one by one. Okay, so what are point defects? These defects are irregularities produced in the arrangement of bases at lattice points in crystalline solids. Okay, now there are three major classes of point defects: stoichiometric point defects, impurity point defect, and non-stoichiometric point defects. Now, what are the stoichiometric point defects, my dear students? Remember, I taught you what is stoichiometry. Stoichiometry is basically study of a chemical reaction which is balanced. Okay, so a balanced chemical reaction, its calculations, so all those things comes under uh, stoichiometry. Okay, now non-stoichiometry is basically when the number of atoms, or for example, if I look at sodium chloride has got one atom of sodium and one atom of chlorine. Okay, suppose if it changes, the number of atoms, number of constant particles in sodium and chlorine changes, what will happen? Its molecular formula will change, which means it becomes a non-stoichiometric entity. Okay, and impurity point defect, as the word itself says, there will be some kind of impurity in it. So let's take a look at it one by one. Stoichiometric point defects. So a chemical formula of a compound, I give you an example of sodium chloride. What is chemical formula of sodium chloride? NaCl. Shows fixed ratio of number of atoms or number of cations and anions. Right? So NaCl is what? One atom of sodium, one atom of chlorine. Okay. Now this fixed ratio is the stoichiometry of the compound. So the ratio is what? 1:1. Sodium 1, chlorine 1. Now stoichiometric has got certain defects. One is vacancy defect and one is self-interstitial defect, Schottky defect, and Frenkel defect. So there are four types of defects is what we'll be looking at in stoichiometric point defect. Let's take a look at all these defects one by one. So during crystallization of a solid, remember the process of crystallization to get the a particular substance in a crystalline form is called as crystallization of a solid. A particle, if it goes missing from its regular site in the crystal lattice, now this is the crystal lattice. Look at the diagram. This is the entire thing is a crystal lattice. The missing particle creates a vacancy in the lattice structure. Remember, we are doing defects. Defects which is caused by vacancy. Now here clearly you can see there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all these are particles inside it. But you see over here where the arrow is ending, over here and here there is a vacancy created. Okay, so that means it's a defect. So defect is caused because of the vacancy. That's why this defect is called as a vacancy defect. The crystal is then said to have a vacancy defect. The vacancy defect is caused mainly because if the substance is heated. So due to the absence of particles, the mass of the substance decreases, isn't it? Undoubtedly. If there is absence of particles, automatically the mass of the substance will decrease, but the entire volume remains unchanged. Okay, suppose if I ask you to fill water in a bottle, now volume of that bottle will not change. Okay, and suppose if I ask you to remove some water from it, okay, so that means the mass of that or the volume of the water inside has changed, but the volume of the entire bottle hasn't changed, right? So exactly in the same manner, mass of the substance decreases in this case, okay, because of the absence of particles, but the volume remains unchanged. So as a result, density of the substance decreases. What is density? Mass upon volume. So if mass decreases, automatically the entire density will also decrease. That is vacancy defect. Now let's look at the second type of defect, which is self-interstitial defect, which is part of stoichiometric point defects. Now what is the meaning of interstitial? Interstitial means if there is something extra, point or a particle occupying a space in between the lattice structure. Now you can clearly see here all the points are there in its place, but there are these 2 points, two particles, one over here and one over here. So they have occupied interstitial space. Okay, so they are some external things that have come inside the crystal lattice. Okay, and thus creating that self interstitial defect. Okay, so there are two ways of having this defect. So this defect occurs in the following two ways. The first you can see in this diagram here, and second over here. In second, what has happened is there is a vacancy created, and that particle which has created the vacancy, it has gone and occupied this interstitial position. Interstitial position is position in the center or somewhere in between. Okay, away from a normal pattern. Okay, so here if you look at both the diagrams, my dear students, in this diagram all the particles are there, there is no vacancy at all, but there are two particles which have come from out. Okay, they have occupied interstitial spaces, whereas in this case a vacancy is created and that is jumped somewhere over here. Okay, so that is self interstitial defect. Let's take a look at let us see, that is the third one in stoichiometric point defect, that is Schottky defect. Now what is Schottky defect? Schottky defect is again to do with vacancy defect. No, so in an ionic solid, if there is, now ionic solid means what, it should have a cation and an anion, right? Now for example sodium chloride is an ionic solid, so Na plus and Cl minus. Always remember, cation is smaller in size and anion is bigger in size. So equal number of cations and anions are missing from their regular positions. So in this case, in this example, there is one anion that is missing and one cation that is missing. So equal number of cations. So one cation, one anion, they are missing from their regular positions in the crystal lattice, creating vacancies. So there exist two holes per ion pair lost, one created by missing cation and the other by a missing anion. So such a paired cation anion vacancy defect is called as a Schottky defect. Okay, so there is a paired cation and anion vacancy defect. Okay, so one cation is missing, one anion is missing. That's why it's called as a Schottky defect. Okay, now these are the conditions for the formation of Schottky defect. So what makes this defect to arise? Okay, so as I said, it is found in ionic compounds. So this defect is formed if there's high degree of ionic character, high coordination number of anion, and if there's small difference between size of cation and anion, which means the ratio of the radius of cation and anion is not far below unity. Okay, so there's hardly any difference. What is the meaning of ratio being unity? That means radius of cation and anion will be same, but it's not same, but there's a slight difference. Okay, now what are the consequences? What happens if there is a Schottky defect in a crystalline solid? So as the number of ions decreases, mass decreases. Correct? If there's vacancy, automatically the mass will decrease. However, volume remains unchanged. Hence, the density of a substance decreases. So the number of missing cations and anions is equal. The electrical neutrality of the compound is preserved. Very, very important point. So since the number of missing cations and anions they are equal, so what will happen to the electrical neutrality? It will be preserved. No, because same number of positive charges are missing, same number of negative charges are missing. That's why the electrical neutrality is preserved and kept intact. So these are some of the examples in which this defect is formed, that is NaCl, that is sodium chloride, silver bromide, potassium chloride. Let's go to the next one, which is the last part in this stoichiometric point defect, that is Frenkel defect. Now in Frenkel defect, what happens is it arises when an ion of an ionic compound is missing from its regular lattice. Okay, missing from its regular lattice and occupies interstitial position, between lattice points. So it not only goes missing, but it also occupies those interstitial positions. So since I mentioned earlier, the cations are usually smaller than anions, it is therefore more common to find the cations occupying interstitial sites. It is easier for the smaller cations to accommodate the interstitial spaces. So clearly you can see, my dear students, in this diagram, okay, since cations are smaller in size, they are the ones which move, they create that vacancy and get accommodated in this interstitial sites, as you can see over here. So this is in short, rather uh, quite in detail, there's four types of stoichiometric point defects. All right, in the next video we'll look at the remaining part of the chapter.